Here we are for another episode of Stream of Thought, and we are on the big 112.
Yeah, I like how you say that, like
it's a momentous occasion.
Nothing has
like happened.
As if we haven't been on hiatus for a month.
No one will have noticed, and suddenly we're back in your feed with
Yeah.
another awesome episode. Let me tell you, man, this has been we have had a lot to get off our chests.
Yeah.
I feel like we cover the gamut on this episode.
We cover a lot of stuff.
Starting from a little bit of philosophy, Victor's MovePass experience.
MovePass.
What has happened in that epic saga
I'm
to this
okay
point.
with it. But yeah, just an update on that, losing my wallet. Talk a little bit about another podcast I've been really into. Bicycle fiasco with Rix.
There's always a bicycle fiasco. It's like old times.
Yeah, the usual slew of things that have no relation to one another.
Just a stream of thought, man. It's my favorite.
But yeah, Rix is back in town for a few days, and we're back at it, recording a few episodes here and there. Really excited to be doing this while it lasts for the next few days, and the approximate date that I'll be moving. So enjoy these next few episodes. Again, we're going to still try and crank them out when we can. But until then, just listen to this one. Episode 112, Stream of Thought. We hope you enjoy.
Significantly in the past month.
Wait, BPMs?
Beats per minute?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Turns out biking is not as cardio intensive as perhaps.
Too much biking?
I don't know. I have no idea at this point in time. I have no idea. It hasn't really. Apparently, I thought it was going to.
Your resting heart rate is too high?
My resting heart rate's too high.
You know what that means, right?
I'm gonna die.
No, it just means that you're not as fit as you should be. Like if you ever notice, like if someone if you were like walking up a flight of steps and you're just walking up like 2 flights of steps and you're like,
see, that's not my problem.
like that's not normal.
I'm not feeling out of breath or anything like
Okay.
that. I just have an elevated heart rate.
It's probably because all the coffee you're drinking.
It actually could be a lot to do with
that,
it.
or you're just doing a ton of cocaine or something like that.
Shh. I'm not gonna be talking about that on air.
But yeah.
Hey, we're back. I'm back.
Jeez. Oh, it feels so good.
From the wilderness. Here
Rix
we
is
are.
back in town for a little bit.
Back all right.
You know what I think of almost every day? Ain't that a shame?
Ain't that a shame? You know, I have been longing for this experience. I'm like, hey, I'm coming back into town for a couple of days. This is something that must be done. I have been longing for this moment to reconnect and hear some of your crazy pointless stories for the longest time. It's been almost 2 months since we were doing this, so maybe that's why my heart hurts so bad.
Well, I know you left back. It's currently October 6th, Saturday, October 6th, right now. And you left back in May. I remember, like, for a couple weeks, it was like, whoa, this is really weird. Like, haven't had to go do a podcast. And then it became, like, regular. Like, it was normal routine, like, not doing a podcast. And we did the whole Throwback Thursday series. For the
Which were
Straight Up,
never actually on Thursday.
Which were, like, not even half the time. Like, 30% of the time were actually released on time. Most of it was me just procrastinating, releasing it like on a Saturday or the following Wednesday.
They were good episodes. They were fun to reminisce, but still, nothing beats living in the moment.
No,
being able to just share the quirkiness that is life.
A few things have happened to me, and I think I can't.
No
one to share this story with.
Yep.
No one to share this story with at all.
I know.
I started to take a little bit as I look at my phone here. I would take a little bit of notes. I think I have like 2 notes in here, like things to bring up. But one of them, did I tell you what happened when was the last time you were here?
It was about 2 months ago. Almost exactly 2 months ago.
Okay.
That I was in town for a day, maybe. I was going from New York.
Okay.
For my ordination.
I remember that. Okay, so I got a couple things here. The first of which I'll bring up. Well, okay.
I've been waiting for this.
It has to do. Okay, remember this. I'll bring up 2 things right now. It has to do with my wallet. Okay.
Oh boy.
The first thing I'm going to mention, and then we'll come back to the wallet. Remind me.
All right.
Because I go to the movie theater, Wheaton, the Studio Movie Grill in Wheaton. Great. And I go there because I've been going there using my MovePass.
Oh my god.
Right?
Oh my god.
Bro, I get an email from MovePass like in August saying like, hey, by the way, the movies that you could see for free every single day, now you're just going to be allowed to see 3 of them per month. Which I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think Rix is in the back of my head. I told you so. I told you. It's not a sustainable business model. And what did I say? What did I tell you? Do you remember?
I said, bro, like, take advantage of it while it's still good.
As long as I can get a summer full of movies and get my money's worth, I'm happy with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
which seemed reasonable enough.
Yes. And dude, it got to the point where I was having to go. I mean, I didn't see an insane amount of movies over this, like between when I got it, when I first used it in April and like a few weeks ago, I think I've seen like 21 movies now. It got to the point, like in August and September, I was like going pretty much a lot, and I was like having to go out of my way to see a movie, where it was almost like I almost feel like I'm inconveniencing myself to go out of my way to see this movie.
Well, yeah, you feel the obligation to take advantage of something like that.
Yes.
Got to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is more stress than it's worth.
The fact that it's they're like, by the way, it's only 3 movies per month. I think it's unless you want to pay month to month. I don't know what the stipulation is, but I'm like, hell no. But I wasn't like disappointed really. I was kind of like whatever. It doesn't really bother me because I'm not like a kid with all this crazy insane amount of time. But I just want to calculate real quick: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. 21 movies.
21 movies.
Yeah.
And you paid maybe how much for it?
I paid, I think, $85.
For 21 movies. So that comes out to what, like $4 a movie?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah.
Which, that's a discount, man. You can't find a movie
and I
theater
still
ticket
have
for
until like March before the subscription it hits the 1 year mark.
Well, so you haven't seen a movie recently then?
Oh yeah, I saw White Boy Rick like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Because I have been following this story, and every time I see a MovePass story, I think of you. And I'm like, I'm just watching it spiraling downwards. They've been having more and more in-depth, like, these people who run MovePass are, like, shady-ass people.
You want me to, here, the last 3 movies I saw were White Boy Rick, Farenheit 11.9, and The Predator.
You saw Farenheit 11.9.
I did, and I saw that movie, and I was like, man, I really need to, I really want to get Rix's take. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it, no.
I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome.
I saw the trailer for it. I was like, oh, damn.
Because I've never really seen any Michael Moore films. I think I saw...
Roger and Me is like...
Roger and Me, I think we saw...
In school.
In school, right?
Back in high school.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That...
About
when
Detroit.
GM moved.
Yep.
Right? Okay, yes.
That was his, like, breakout documentary.
Okay. I remember seeing that, and I really enjoyed it, but I've never seen anything else. And so... Ironically, after I saw that movie, I was like, I want to see another Michael Moore film. And I had recorded on the DVR Bowling for Columbine like a month before that. So I saw Bowling for Columbine. But anyway, I want to see Fahrenheit 9/11 now. I was like, I got to see 9/11. Which 11/9 people were like confused. Like, it's just because that's when Trump was elected, the day that it became official.
Yep.
That's why it has nothing to do with like 9/11 being backwards. It's just...
It just happened to be
coincidental.
Interesting coincidence.
And... I watched it, and I really enjoyed how, like, I mean, what do you first before I say something that makes you think any less of me?
The ship has sailed on that years ago.
Have you seen any Michael Moore films other than Roger and Me?
I want to say that I saw Bowling for Columbine, and I did not see Fahrenheit 9/11. I do want to say that I've seen another one of his documentaries, but I can't remember the name of it.
Because in this, in 11/9, there's a bunch of stuff going on. I'm like, wait a minute, did Rix know this? Did Rix know this? I wonder if Rix knew this. I wonder if, what's going on? And they're talking about the situation in Flint with the water.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I didn't know any of this.
Really?
I knew the water was fucked up, but I didn't know why. I was like, holy cow, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And then when he's saying in the documentary, like, oh, by the way, like, Bernie Sanders should have been the Democratic nominee instead of Hillary. Oh, by the way, here's why. And it's like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I didn't know any of this stuff, and I was like, where are these people pulling strings? Like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
What's the a fucking illusion that we live in? Holy cow.
It truly is. It truly is. And I feel like that's something that most people don't
and you know what?
acknowledge.
You know what? One of the things I thought of after I saw that, I was like, okay, I think I understand now why people hate America so much. Like, but because when you think of all these things outside of the U.S., because, well, first of all, growing up here, you're bred, you're brainwashed to think this is the greatest place on earth. Nowhere else is it like America, and America's the best, and everywhere else for the most part is shit. Mm-hmm. And if you talk shit about America, fuck you, you're wrong. We've got guns,
conditioned patriotism.
Yes, exactly it. And then you hear about all these different things that have happened, and you're like, oh, okay. But at the same time, it's like, we just didn't know. Like, we're not, like, this isn't, like, the truth is kept. It's swept under the rug.
It is marginalized to where it's there if you really want to find it. But most people don't have the time, energy, or willpower to break the wonderful illusion that we have, of this. That was the thing that really changed for me in seminary. Very eye-opening of just, especially when it came to conditions of people living in the inner cities and how there are serious problems that we white people from the burbs just the information's not presented to us, and it doesn't affect our lives on a daily basis,
right? And
so we just don't hear it. I heard a lot of very anti-patriotic talk shitting on America all the time, and it took me a while to understand where that was coming from, and just this intense feeling of betrayal once people learn the truth of certain realities that we're living in. Just how depressing it can be, because we're never told that growing up. We're told, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
I mean, every single day when we were in high school,
My
stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I really want to see now the Farenheit 9/11, because 11/9 is pretty trippy. It's like, holy cow, it is pretty. And you know what I enjoyed though too is that I clearly shat on President Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Then he took a few jabs at Obama too.
Yeah, he did.
So it's not like totally one-sided. You know what I'm saying? And I saw a couple of the things in the documentary when Obama visited Flint, Michigan to address the water issue. Mm-hmm. And then pretty much in the documentary, Michael Moore is like, oh, by the way, like, Obama like marginalized the severity of the water contamination.
Crisis. Yeah, because he drank water that wasn't actually
and then from
Flint.
And then he was and then you see a clip of it. Now again, this clip is taken out of context, but you get the idea. Where he's like, yeah, well, when I was a kid, I probably, ate a paint chip off the wall that had lead on it or something weird like that. And like that he was interviewing people who were like really excited to see Obama, and then he interviewed them again after like he got footage or whatever after he left, and they're just like, seriously, like this was the last person we were depending on, and like he just says, hey, don't worry about it, see you guys later.
It's all good.
It's like,
it's all good. Water's safe to drink again. And here, you have this started, maybe 5 years ago or something like that.
2014.
So you have kids now who are growing up with deformities and mental conditions, and you're only starting to now see the effect that the water contamination has had on an entire generation of people. It's crazy.
There was this one woman who was like, my kids think it's normal to bathe using bottled water. Yeah. And it's like, I did this in Afghanistan or Iraq. Like, this isn't normal. Like, they don't know what that should not be like that.
That's
it's so wild.
That's actually what NPR had a thing on the water crisis on their All Things Considered show like a week or 2 weeks ago, and it was exactly that, where there's no clean water in certain areas in the South, and they have to do the same thing, bathe with bottled water. They say they go through this family,
but they
that was
don't have
getting
any air.
interviewed.
But they can't find clean water. It's just for whatever reason naturally it's just unclean, or like something happened and the water was contaminated.
The water is contaminated because a lot of industrial plants pump their crap into the water, and so they're like, we go through 4 or 5 cases of water a week just to survive.
Yeah,
and that's got to be expensive. You're buying that much water on top of an economically depressed area.
I mean, on the cheap end, a case of water you can probably find for like at least $3 on the cheap end, right? Yeah. So that's 5 cases. That's 15. So it's like, let's say like $65 a week. That's a bill, like.
Oh yeah.
Of using water that is in extreme shortage, that has to be rationed rather than just like a normal water bill from someone's house. You probably the same amount for a small family, and it's almost like a plethora of water. There's no
and that's the thing that I can't wrap my head around. It is the showering component, especially where you have to bathe with bottled water. What that does not compute as to a way that people are forced to live that way on a daily basis.
Well, one of my friend's dads said he had to do that when he would do mission trips in Africa. He would have a bottle. He would only use a bottle of water to bathe. But he was like it was like a temporary thing, for him. But that's pretty messed up. Yeah, so I think that and it's so funny too, because people who sort of willfully close their eyes to this get so offended if you say something like, that's so unpatriotic. Yeah. How could you say anything bad about America? We're the greatest country on earth. Right. It's like, maybe where you stand. But I'm thinking, all great empires fall eventually. Damn right, man. I'm glad you picked up something from my preaching here. Like, if you look at it, I think it was like, give or take, I think it was like Netherlands, like were just running shit in the 1600s, like running shit real hard, or if like Spain in the 1400s, and then like Netherlands in the 1600s, and then Britain rolls around, and then America, and like, oh yeah. It's our turn is up. It's a wheel, man. Yeah, just keeps on turning. Now, what I'm thinking as you're telling me these revelations that you came across in this movie, I'm thinking back to some of our straight up episodes where like you and Dom or you and the boy Illinois were talking about conspiracy theories and the Illuminati. And I'm thinking to myself, who needs conspiracy theories when you have reality? Like, really? I mean, you got this shit that's crazier than most conspiracy theories out there. Except this aliens, is documented, really. Yeah, the Illuminati, really. Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah, there are powerful people pulling strings. They're not the fucking Illuminati, though. Yeah, they're people who are working in plain sight, if you choose to see them. So. I still think of you every time I see ancient aliens on TV. Little green men, little gray men coming down with their phasers, gonna sometimes turn us to I goo. Check it out. I mean, because I went through that phase several years ago where I watched it every time it was on TV, and now it's like it's the same thing, and I'm bored of it. But every now and then I check it out for about 5 to 10 minutes. Hey man, it's made for TV entertainment, right? Yeah. So, but back to my wallet. Back to your wallet. Okay, so we did all that to come back to the wallet. So I'm at Studio Movie Grill. And I think I'm watching like Mission Impossible or something like that. And I have my wallet, and they have these little trays because they can bring food to you if you want. So I put my wallet and my key and my phone on the tray, and I'm watching the movie and everything. And then I get up to leave. I grab my things, I put them in my pockets, and I leave. And I get home, and then later, I was like, wait a minute, where's my wallet at? And I had my phone, I had my key. I was like, well, so I look in the car, I look in my house. I'm like, I had it with me, like my stuff was just sitting right there. And then I even like drive back there, I think I didn't find it when I was there. And while I was still in the parking lot, I like drove around a little bit to see if I can see it underneath some cars, if I dropped it or something like that, like, and it fell to the spot next to me. And then I went home. I was like, it's got to be at home because I don't use my card at Wheaton because at Wheaton you can just do it on your phone. You don't need the card. You just do it on the phone directly. And so I'm at home and I don't find it anywhere. And then I go back there and I tell them like, hey, did you guys find a wallet? And they're like, no, we haven't. But if you leave your name and number, like we'll give you a call and let you know. And I'm like, okay, perfect. I give my name and number. I walk out. They're like, I'm never fucking get a phone call. Like that's not happening.
Yeah.
And I wait a couple days, and because it wasn't this wallet that you see in front of you, it was my other one, the brown one that was falling apart.
Oh yeah.
And so I wait a couple days. This happens like on a Wednesday. So by the end of the day on Friday, I'm like, all right, well, if I don't have it now, I'm just gonna order a new credit and debit card. So I ordered the new cards, dude. On Saturday or Sunday, I get a phone call. Hey, we found your wallet.
Are you kidding me?
So I'm like, fucking A. Not only, like, do I have my wallet back, but the credit cards that I have there don't work because they've been canceled, and now I have to wait another, like, 5 to 7 days before I actually get my credit and debit card. Luckily, I had cash with me.
That's good.
Right? And, but I was just like, what the fuck? Because one time before, I left, what was it? I don't know, I left something in a movie theater. It wasn't anything too important, but that was gone. And then another time, Neil left his wallet in the movie theater, and same thing. It was gone, though. He never got it back.
Oh,
but I don't know if he left his name and number. But one, I can't believe it happened. And two, it was just like, man, good Samaritans. Just not taking anything from it. Just, I found this wallet. Here you go. Oh yeah, there was a guy in here about that. Let's give him a call.
That's nice. It's nice because those stories I feel like these days are just so rare.
Yeah.
To hear people who will not fuck around with any of the stuff and give it back just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So that's why because I believe that I had texted you at some point over the past 2 months about the MovePass jerking around prices, like they can go up, down, and you're like, oh, dude, don't worry about it. Like I'm getting a new card anyway. I'm assuming that was around that time then.
It was because my credit card that I had with MovePass is my old credit card number.
Oh, that's great.
They can do whatever the fuck they want. I'm not paying anymore.
Because when you unsubscribe now, there's this new scandal right now.
You have to wait like 2 years or a year or some shit like that to sign up again.
But here's what they've been doing that just broke in the news like last week.
What's that?
They've been re-signing up people who canceled their accounts and saying you have to opt out again. Otherwise, we're going to charge you.
So someone's like, this is bullshit. I'm out. So it's like, okay, that's fine. And then they sign them back up again to try and get an extra month or two.
Mm-hmm. Basically in the fine print, basically saying you have to opt out again after you already canceled your subscription. Otherwise, we'll charge you again.
Motherfuckers can't do it to me.
I know, that's awesome.
The universe is on my side.
You are safe in that regard.
Yeah.
That's great. So you paid in a lump sum for the entire year then?
Paid like $85
at once. So So you don't have to worry about like reoccurring payments or anything like that. But they changed it now so that
there was an option. When I got that email, they were like, hey, you can either, I think, not pay anything more and get 3 movies a month, or you can pay $7 a month or $8 a month and you would get a movie every day.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, so what you want me to do is I paid $85. I got like 6 months worth of this. So what I paid for the whole year, I'm only getting for 6 months, and you want me to pay more every month to get what I already had when I initially signed up.
Oh, yeah.
No.
But now what I've heard, which is kind of surprising that you were able to attend a movie last week, is that they're blocking out times now so that you can't see new movies.
This happened to me. I went into a Yorktown to try and see a movie, and it like didn't work because there was a I believe what happened was like too many people were trying to see this one movie. I can't remember what it was, but it was maybe Mission. No, I don't know. But what happened was they then came out with this thing saying, okay, for movies that are going to come out with a projected extremely high demand, we're not going to make that available at certain movie theaters. And on top of that, you may not be allowed to see it for a while. So like Mission Impossible wasn't available for me to watch at Yorktown. Yeah. But it was available for me to watch at Studio Movie Grill. So I just went to Studio Movie Grill. Okay. Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
And then also, too, with those movies that are in high demand, it's like, okay, because this movie is in such high demand, you can't see it with MoviePass. Well, you can see it with MoviePass, but you might have to pay like, not the full ticket price, but you might have to pay a few dollars to see that. Like something weird. And then when you run out of your 3 movies per billing cycle, you can buy a movie ticket for a discounted price through MovePass. So it's like, you dumb fucks. Like, this isn't what I paid for.
I guarantee you there's going to be some sort of class action lawsuit that comes out of this in the end. I mean, they're reaching their last couple of months of business. They have no money left.
I mean, I'm happy
broke.
with what I've gotten out of it so far.
I mean, yeah,
So.
you really got the prime deal to take advantage of something that, in fact, was too good to be true.
I saw like something on Twitter, Instagram saying like, meet so and so. She was like a MovePass person when they were like testing it out, or I don't know what it was, but like meet so and so, and it had something like some witty remark, and then it said saw a movie every day for an entire year, and it's a picture of her holding her MovePass, like this little look on her face, just like looking at the camera like this.
That is awesome.
And this is one that looks like she might be like in her like 50s, who has worked as an office secretary for like the last 30 years. That was the look that she had. But yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you're getting ready to move.
Yeah, I have a date.
You have what's the date?
So November 9th will be my last day.
November 9th.
At Aldi, yeah. Friday, November 9th.
So are you leaving on November 10th?
So I think what my plan is going to be is my last day is November 9th. I think I'll stick around Saturday, hang out with, my family on Saturday and Sunday. So I'm debating either to leave Sunday late morning, early afternoon, or to leave Monday morning.
And you're going to be driving cross country.
This is why.
Okay.
So I am going to go to Denver, and I'd like to spend, let's say it's like a 14-hour drive to Denver.
Yeah, it's long, man.
Yeah. But I've got some Adderall XR 20 milligrams.
Oh my god! drugs. And then you got all the pot that you could possibly go for.
I only need one of them.
Denver, yeah.
Yeah, from one of my friends who has a I almost said subscription. Who has a prescription?
A subscription. Yeah. A subscription to Adderall.
Yeah.
Your monthly subscription.
I'll sign up for that. One pill a day, $80.
That's it for $8.
Unlimited Adderall.
Also an unsustainable business model right there.
Yeah, for sure. Completely unsustainable.
Wow. That's gonna be a trip.
No, but side note, I went to out of town for my friend's birthday, and I'm driving back, and he's like, "Hey, do you want like an Adderall for the road? Like, gets you real focused. I know you're like real tired from the night before." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So I take it, and I haven't taken Adderall since like college, studying.
I've never had Adderall.
Oh, it's awesome. It's not like it doesn't like get you high or anything. It's like it's nothing like that, but it's just you're fucking laser focused. It's insane.
Yeah.
And so I take it. It's like 11 a.m. because we get back to Indianapolis from Louisville. Yes, Louisville.
My brother would slap you in the face if you said that to him.
As we say in the Chicagoland area, Louisville.
Yes.
But everyone from Indiana and people from down there say Louisville, which what I'm used to because the guy across the hall from me freshman year was from there. And going to school in Indiana at Purdue for 4 years and then living in Indiana, like that's just how you hear it. It's just
now it integrates.
Yeah, now it's a part of my vocabulary. So when I told people like I'm going to Louisville, I stopped and I was hesitant for a moment because I was like, wait, will they understand like Louisville? And they're like, oh, okay, cool. But for me, it was really hard to say that. Yeah, it's integrated now in my vocabulary. Anyway. Yeah, so he gave me one, and I'm driving back to Chicago, and I'm feeling awesome, just like super laser focused on driving. 3-hour drive felt like 15 minutes.
What?
And I get back home, and I'm like, I can't sit still. Like, I just gotta go. I gotta run. And so I go run like 6 miles. Anyway, what I'm getting at is it's my secret weapon. It's my secret weapon. So I'll get to Denver in 14 hours, no problem.
Yeah.
So going all the way back. Talk about completely unnecessary digression.
I thought that was entertaining.
So, good. It meets your seal of approval.
Drugs.
Yeah. So, it's a 14-hour drive to Denver. So, I'm going to go to Denver. I'll probably get to Denver, like, somewhat later in the evening, maybe like 10, 11, or midnight.
Oh.
So no, a little sooner than that, maybe like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. I don't know. I'll probably leave at like 6 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
I leave at 6 a.m. Drive.
We'll have gone through the time change too, right?
Yeah.
So
I've
it's
gone through
gonna be
time change.
super dark until like 8.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Just be careful of animals on the road.
Yeah. I got brights.
I got a story after.
Yeah, I got
after
brights
this.
on my car.
Yeah. My sister was actually just in a car wreck.
Really?
She hit a coyote.
No way.
Traveling to Montana. She was in South Dakota, I believe, and driving at night, I believe.
Okay.
In the darkness.
That's what night is.
Empty
darkness.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. And it's just wilderness that she's traveling through, and just out, trees on both sides. Out of the blue comes a coyote.
Yeah.
Wrecks her car, and so she has to go to this podunk little town.
Yeah.
With one mechanic, who's not around until Monday, and this is a Saturday
No
or whatever.
way.
And so she was supposed to visit our cousins in Montana.
Yeah.
With her new boyfriend, and now they're stuck in a town of maybe 100 people who is like, oh, y'all ain't from around here, are you?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Drinking out of mason jars and shit.
And moonshine.
Dressed in overalls.
Got the moonshine and overalls.
Piece of meat
Everyone,
in there.
everyone owns a pickup truck.
Yeah.
And so, luckily, she had somebody in the area who she was friends with who was able to come and get her and take her to like Mount Rushmore while they fixed her car.
Oh, wow.
So she still doesn't have a car. The coyote totaled it.
Jeez.
And it's a brand new freaking car too.
I remember
it was
seeing
like a
it in the
2018.
driveway.
It was like a 2018.
Yeah, it was a really nice looking car.
Oh yeah.
Real nice looking car.
So
wow.
that's just be careful when you're driving, man. You never know what's gonna come out of the
I'm not
woods.
a speed demon. When I was doing the Adderall, I was doing like a cool 75, man. I was just like, I'm feeling good, taking my time. Yeah.
Laser focus.
Yeah, laser focus, man. And so, go to Denver. In case people forgot why we're even talking about this, because your initial how this happened, because you were like, "Whoa, so you're leaving? So when are you leaving?" So, what is this? 15 minutes later, talking about bullshit. Coming back to the original question. So, my plan is November 9th, Friday, last day at work. Leave, let's say, Sunday morning. Let's call it Sunday morning. Get to Denver Sunday night. Too tired to do anything. Rest. Hang out all day Monday, and then spend the night there on Monday night. Leave Tuesday morning. 11 hours away is Las Vegas. So then go to Las Vegas. Once I get to Las Vegas, I'll be too exhausted to like do anything. Just chill out and wake up the next day.
You gonna get a hotel or do you have something?
Yeah, hotel. One of my friends is gonna meet me out there.
Super cheap hotels.
And so then Wednesday, hang out all day, spend the night in Las Vegas Wednesday night, and then Thursday, maybe spend another night in Las Vegas or go to LA, or maybe spend like 3 nights in Denver and 3 nights in LA. So I have some leeway I can play around with. But then come Friday, for sure, or get to LA or something which is just 4 hours away from Las Vegas.
Now, what's your plan once you get to LA?
So my plan is at this point to just rent a room through Airbnb for a few weeks to give me the opportunity to like actually check out apartments, like not just like look for apartments online when I'm not living there. You know what I'm saying? So
just be careful with Airbnb, man. It's the MovePass of hotels.
I've done Airbnb before.
I believe it.
And what's really cool on Airbnb is they have you can filter through like their I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's like preferred hosts, where it's like people who host other people, like hosts who have met a certain criteria, or they like a little star next to their name saying like nope, we are extra legit.
So like 5-star Uber driver.
Kind of like that, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they all get ratings and everything, but they're like extra, like based on like how many people they've had, how many like the number of reviews, the ratings and everything. So
okay, so it's kind of up in
but
the air.
Here's the other thing too. You know me, I'm totally cool just rolling into LA and like sleeping under a tree for a couple days and like figuring stuff out as I'm hanging out. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. They got showers at the beach,
That's right, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, wow, dude. Yeah. That's how like what's your mental state like?
My mental state is super. How would you say? Ambitious, prepared, feeling really good.
That's good, man.
Yeah, the universe is on my side.
The universe is on your side.
I feel really good.
I mean, that's a huge life change, just to more or less just pick up and move to LA, which I know it's something that you've always wanted to do. So it's good that it's amazing that you have the opportunity to do something like this. But I know I'm just thinking about myself, even getting a car for the first time in years, and being like, that fills me with a sense of dread. On there's both the excitement of being able to have mobility, but there's also that sense of dread of, oh my god, this is a responsibility. It's like not quite a new child, but it's another responsibility.
Well, you still have to go through the hassle of like negotiating like a lease or going to like a CarMax. I mean, I went to CarMax and got my car and felt like super taken care of. I felt like I didn't have to have like my guard up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with already having a car, you got a nice situation.
I'm very fortunate in that regard. I've been reading this new finance book, which I'm not somebody to read motivational materials or things like that, but Brooks in Minnesota said, you got to read this book.
Did you just see what happened?
You were about to drink. Your microphone.
I put my hand on the mic like it was my water. Yeah,
it was like, is he going to go up? I really wish I had a picture of that. That was pretty epic. Muscle memory.
Yeah. Wait. What the hell? No. Okay. So you're reading this book that Brooks recommended.
Yes, it's called Total Money Makeover, and I know.
That sounds like something that would be on Oprah or Ellen.
It really
Total Money Makeover. Okay.
You get a makeover.
Yeah, you get a makeover. You get a makeover.
Everybody gets a makeover. So this, I mean, I'm not one for these types of books where the author, I don't want to say that he's got an ego, but he's got an ego. He's like, I know what I'm talking about, and here's all of my
If you follow this, you will be successful.
And that's exactly...
Anyone can do it.
That's exactly...
Well, if anyone could do it, everyone would be fucking rich.
You're like reading the book verbatim without having it. Right. Yeah, it was like, it will work if you do it, and I mean, but he's saying that the whole theme of the book, if you live like... What is it? If you live like no one now, you'll be able to live like no one later. So the philosophy of this book is, if you live dirt cheap and just cut out all unnecessary expenses, all sort of recreation, stuff like that, and put your money where it can be most effective, whether it's to paying off debts, whether it's to putting 15% into retirement, all this sort of stuff, Roth IRAs, that sort of thing, buying used cars, determining whether it's better for you to own or rent a house or something like that, or to own or rent, whatever. Basically his stuff is, Americans are told you should use credit cards, you should do all this other stuff, and it just leads to lots and lots of debt, which is unnecessary. If you're willing to just live bare bones for the time being, you will, and invest it properly. It, even at the sort of minimal investment thing, you'll be a multi-millionaire by the time you're 65, kind of attitude. So it's interesting because, I don't know, I mean, I think that there's some really good points there, but let's say I just don't have enough faith in the economic situation of this country, that it's like, if I'm investing this money with hopes that I can get 8% return on investment kind of thing, well, I mean, we're going to be headed towards another economic situation, likely having to do with us, the country having to pay back our debts kind of thing. So, I don't know. It just seems so uncertain that I totally believe in living minimalist type lifestyle. I mean, look at me. I've been living
fairly minimal,
like a minimalist for many years at this point in time, out of necessity. But it's just kind of been, the frugality of the whole situation is just in my blood. So he's saying things that I'm like, well, duh. I mean, you don't want to go out and buy 3 new cars and a new home that you can't afford and put it on credit cards. Well, duh. Like, that seems like common sense, but apparently there are a lot of people because he gives testimonials throughout the books where people who have been helped by this money makeover are giving their stories. Like, there are so many dumb people out there who just don't know how to handle money at all. Like, even the most basic concept that you shouldn't spend more than you have.
Right.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Basic concept, you shouldn't spend more than you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you'll be surprised.
So, yeah, I have a feeling, there's some useful points in there, but it's just, I'm thinking, I'm never going to own a new car. Like, basically.
What's the tone like? Is it very dry, or is it easily digestible?
Oh,
or
super digestible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, there's not a lot of technical stuff in there. It's more just anecdotal stories.
And what's it called again?
Total Money
Makeover. I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's an interesting read. I think you'd get something from it.
Okay.
I've gotten something from it.
One that I've really enjoyed, one that you'll really like is Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a real famous book.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about, though.
It's solid. It's about this guy who grew up, like, he looked at things about like that his dad did, and then he looked at things that like his friend's dad did. And his dad is like, I believe it's like 2 or 3 degrees from prestigious universities, and was always like struggling with money. And then his like friend's dad dropped out of school when he was like in 8th or 9th grade, became an entrepreneur, and like made millions of dollars. And it's like just it's like similar stuff.
Yeah,
it's similar stuff, but it's interesting. It's a really good read, and it's definitely not one of those like in your face, if you can do it, or if I can do it, you can do it type thing.
Yeah. See, now that was one point that I actually found the most interesting. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. College. The usefulness of education, formalized education, and the debt that comes with it. Because he's like super against college that you have to pay anything for. Unless you get a full ride, go to a community college, and it'll basically do the same thing.
So my opinion, I guess it depends, first of all, on like what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you want to be a lawyer.
Because you were, a history major?
If you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, like, yeah, you're going to need to go to college for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And probably a good one, and an expensive one.
But here, let me backtrack a little bit. But I mean, how many kids go to college because it's just, that's just what you do, right?
Oh yeah, most, I feel like.
How many people?
Everyone from Glenbard West.
How many people go to college actually knowing real hardcore what they want to do with their college degree? Fucking no one.
No one.
Right? And then, but how many times are we told, okay, you need to go to college to get a good job? Or you're pretty much told, you need to go to college. If you don't go to college, you will not be successful. You'll be a fucking loser.
Yeah.
That's what we're told, right?
For the most part. In suburban communities,
yes. Yeah.
For sure.
Now, for me, I just went because it's like the next thing to do. I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. I just did history because I was always good at it, and I really enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a huge fucking waste of money.
Because, I mean, I'm looking at my debt right now, and his whole thing is, well, basically do these sort of things and get rid of debt first. Was kind of his main thing. Is like a lot of people have 5-figure, 6-figure debts, and I look at myself. I have over $80,000 in student debt.
Yeah,
both from not from undergrad. My undergrad, luckily, was able to be helped with my family.
Okay,
but seminary, that was almost a 6-figure education right there. And I think to myself, I don't think that there is any other. Well, I agree with the whole debt thing is ridiculous. That the experiences that I had there turned me into the person who I am today.
Yes. With
those people in that institution, learning not just the academic stuff, but the interpersonal and socio connections that just turned me into a better person.
The next thing I was going to say was, the degree, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the experiences that I had and the people I met along the way, I'll gladly pay that debt. Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
And see, that was his thing.
He's like, pay that.
Well, you could get that anywhere. And I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm sure that's helped form you into the person that you are today. It's like, well, that's it's good. It's, I guess, the alternative for him was to just save up for your kid's education early so that they don't have to live in debt because I'm like, I can't imagine a life where I don't have student debt. And that's crazy. Like, that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
And yet, here I am.
I know.
It's like, alrighty then.
Dude, so I gotta check this again. I got some good things on here. There's something else that I am looking right now at. Oh, okay. PayPal automate. Yeah, okay. I wanted to look at other things I wanted to bring up that were like on my mind the last several weeks. So just remind me, you did the PayPal and library. Okay. So going back to what you're saying, like, they're just some dumb people out there. This is one of them. So I'm at the library, and this isn't like this huge spiel, 45 minutes, we're going to talk about this. This is just like a real quick thing. I'm at the library doing research, and I just made myself laugh. Sorry. Like I'm in some fucking laboratory.
Very, very professional.
I'm at the library doing the same shit I do at my house, but because I'm at the library, it makes me feel like I'm doing something with my day, which I was researching stuff for going to LA.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
discovering the cure for cancer.
Yeah, it's not like I'm watching conspiracy videos on YouTube at the library. The research. Yeah, so I'm there, and this is like the second or third time that I notice this. Some dumb motherfucker actually has the gall to answer their phone and talk on the phone.
Oh man, no! In a library.
Yes. This is
really
like the second or third time I observed this, and it wasn't a ham at the library. I call you back. Like it was like
it's like let's have a conversation.
Okay,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Let's wrap this up, bitch. Jeez. There are other people here, and we're just trying to.
How many people would you say were in the?
Not that many.
Room?
There was like 8 to 10 people.
That's more like maybe if there was 1 or 2 other people in there. I still would say no, but at least it's a little more understandable as for somebody who's not like
I was
all
surprised
socially there. But
that one of the employees didn't walk up right away and say, "Hey, you need to get off your phone."
Don't they have signs or something like that? Like, don't use your cell phone.
I don't know.
Here.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
You'd think, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I just can't fathom that they've gone through their life this far without being yelled at for using a phone.
And then the other thing too, there was like the same day or something like that, like this mom and her 2 kids are like walking through the stacks. They're just like being loud and obnoxious. You're first of all indoors.
Yeah. And
second of all, you're in a library. Absolutely no reason to be talking at the volume that you're talking at right now.
The mom or the kids?
The mom, mostly the mom, but the kids were like kids follow suit. The kids are making noise, running around. It's not so much the running around, right? Whatever, they're kids, they're fucking running around and shit. But yeah, it's like the talking. It's like, okay, when you're in a library, you need to take it down a notch.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Social etiquette, I think, is something that has a very broad spectrum, especially in this country. I mean, there are certain things that, and even I have like social faux pas where I do something that perhaps is not socially in the norm per se, but unless somebody corrects me or tells me, hey, like, don't do that kind of thing, then how am I supposed to know differently unless I make those mistakes? But I feel like you should get to a certain age and have enough respect or awareness of other people.
There's certain basic unwritten rules in society that everyone should know about. Just based on their just being in that community or just being a fucking basic human being. And there are things that like being quiet in a library, it's not like I feel like that shit's just programmed in your fucking brain when you're born. Like you don't like it's just so integrated into your very being.
So this is
and don't spend more money than you have.
Exactly. Well, and that's something I've had to wrap my mind around, especially in the past couple of years. The fact that I feel like the way that I interact with people is I treat them how I'd like to be treated.
Right.
What would they be thinking if I was in their shoes, kind of thing.
Okay.
And so I try to go about it with it's called mutual reciprocity, where there's just a basic attempt at empathy or compassion.
Stop. I'm going to stop you right here. What the fuck's on your hand? Did you fall off your bike again?
Oh, yeah, that's a story.
All right. Continue.
That's actually an interesting story.
Continue.
But the thing that I've had to reconcile, especially working in the blue-collar world, is there are a lot of people, especially people, I guess, who don't have higher educations, who never learned how to properly empathize with other people or to respect others' views. I feel like that's probably something that's more or less learned in higher education, college, masters, whatever the case is. You learn how to deal with people from different backgrounds and understandings and being like, we're not all thinking the same.
Yeah.
Whereas people who sort of born and raised in the same place with the same people around them are like, we all think alike. And so that's how I'm going to assume you think. I'm not even going to bother. Like, it's all about me. It's all about what I'm thinking and my comfort and what's convenient to me. And it's like, there are a lot of people out there who just have no compassion or sense of empathy towards other people because they never learned how.
That's interesting that you said that because it made me think of this book that I read called, I think it was called like How to Arrest Proof Yourself or something like that. It's a really cool book. This guy who is now, his background was police officer, sniper for SWAT, and then I think there was something else, and now he's like a defense attorney in like Miami or something like that. All this is in Miami or something. And he's pretty much like writing this book like how to keep yourself out of jail, right? And he mentions in the book like there are so many people that are in jail for things that are non-criminal offenses. For example, like not showing up to court on time, not seeing your parole officer, not having your proper paperwork for insurance, like basic things. And then he talks about how it's just like a meat grinder. People just go back into it. And he says how he says a lot of the time, like most of the time the people that this happens to are people who are like lower class, who do not have who have like a low education because they just don't develop or have been taught the skills to like use a fucking calendar. You know what I'm saying?
Or use an
alarm. Use a
exactly.
watch. And one of the things he mentions is when I love this term. It's called flushing the rabbit. And it's when...
That sounds like a sex move right there.
It's when police cars... He's like, yeah, you'll get pulled over and you won't even be doing anything wrong. It's called flushing the rabbit. Cars, they just pull over cars completely at random, or just to see if maybe by chance the guy rolls down his window. This guy just so happens to smell like alcohol. He just so happens to smell like weed. Or he just so happens to be real jittery right now. I don't know why. Oh, he just so happens to be driving without a driver's license. Like just to maybe get something out of it. Maybe something happens. Maybe it doesn't. And one of the things he mentions too is like, one of the things that we always do as police officers, but we'll never admit, is we profile the hell out of people all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Do you know why? Because statistically speaking, it's true most of the time. If I see somebody who looks like they are lower class, dressed a certain way, like dressed more, what's it called? Like a more derelict look or derelict. I said derelict because I thought of Zoolander.
I was like Zoolander.
Derelict,
oh my god!
I thought of derelict because of Zoolander.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. It's so
because
true.
like statistically speaking, those are people who you are more likely to pin and get an arrest because they either have weapons, drugs, alcohol, don't have the proper paperwork, or driving without a license or whatever the hell it is. Not to say someone driving in a BMW wearing a suit is not a criminal who knows they might be, do insurance fraud, but that's like something that can't be, that's not something that's out in the open that can't be seen like your crimes that you see like on CSI where fucking people are going on like a police chase and shit like that.
Oh,
you know
totally.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, and he's saying like it's all done on a point. The more arrests someone makes, the more chances they have and quicker they are to get promoted. It has nothing to do with like what you're doing. They're just trying to get a fucking arrest, and it doesn't matter. Like that's all they're thinking, because giving someone a warning doesn't get them any closer to getting a pat on the back by their superior.
Nope.
And then he also said that was really interesting was when you get I can't remember what the name of the thing is, but when you get arrested, right? Your name goes into the system and everything. You're arrested, and so when people go for a job interview or whatever, and it's like, oh, you've been arrested, immediately they think this person's a criminal. It's like, oh, well, I was arrested, but the charges were dropped because my girlfriend was just mad at me and we made things up and, you know, whatever the fuck or whatever the case may be. It's like, okay, you were arrested, but the charges were dropped. So then that should be completely expunged, but it stays in this system, I can't remember what it's called, for anyone to look at. And so you just immediately think that even if the charges were dropped, like, okay, well, the person is still guilty.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But it's a
There's
really
a
awesome
stigma.
book.
Yeah,
You should read it.
It's a tough. It's very familiar with that. Very familiar with that concept. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good read, man. It was cool.
So yeah, not to bury the lead. I got hit by a car.
No way.
Like a couple of days ago.
On your bike?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because you did something that you shouldn't have done?
Nope.
Are you going to sue them? Are they going to give you money?
No, they just kept going.
What?
Yeah.
No way. Did
Yeah.
you get a license plate number?
No, man, I was on the ground.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, long story short.
Were you by a major intersection with cameras? You should investigate.
No,
that shit,
it was a overpass bridge type thing on a rural front road.
Okay.
So I'm turning on to it's kind of a weird setup where it's a front road that goes along the expressway, the 101, and so you turn right to go first over the interstate, and then under the interstate, and then across some train tracks by a train station. And so it's very hilly. It's like up and down. Yeah. Now, this day, it's super foggy. You could cut the fog with a knife, really. It was really bad. And so I turn onto the road, and perhaps I'm riding, because there's no sidewalks. They're front roads, so there's just a shoulder. And I might be a little too close to the shoulder line or whatever, but it's nothing that's super, like, whatever. So from behind me comes a car whizzing by at like 70 miles an hour, because people try to get over those train tracks, because if you get stuck by the train, you'll be there for about 20 minutes because the trains stop. And it's right by a loading station. So got it. You've got, these 50-car long freight trains that have to load up stuff. So it is there for 20 to 30 minutes if you get caught up at the wrong time. So you'll see people whizzing by like 70 miles an hour, and it's a 40-mile-an-hour road. But
some Mario Kart shit.
Some Mario Kart shit, man. And everyone's just boom, 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 boom. And, I've never had a problem before. And so out of the fog comes some van. It's like a gray van. And I think it's that their mirror clips my handle bar, and so it goes like that, and so I end up flying. It's the passenger side of the car, so I end up going flying onto the ground. I'm like, fuck, and everything else. I have my coffee mug attached to my glasses on. Everything just goes flying. I'm like, my first thought was like, fuck, is the bike ruined? Yeah. Is my coffee mug broken again? Yeah. Are my glasses broken? Like, I really don't need this shit.
Just for the record, this is, in the time that we've done this podcast for a little over a year, this has got to be the 5th time.
I have had some pretty unfortunate encounters with bikes.
Yes.
I'm not exactly the most graceful person when it comes to riding the bike. Now, but all the ones before this were like self-caused or whatever. Like I went over a bump or just wasn't graceful enough, and so I hurt myself. This was the first time where I'm like,
it's not your fault.
Probably not my fault. And so I'm on the ground and I'm like, oh man, I don't even see the blood or whatever. I'm just like, doesn't feel like anything's broken. I'm in shock, kind of. I'm a little hurt. And then all of a sudden, so the car keeps going, and the dude right behind him like slams on his brakes. He's like, did that dude just hit you? I'm like, I think so. He's like, do you want me to chase him down? Yeah. And I was like, I think I'm okay. And so I was so out of it that I'm like, it's okay. Like, thank you. Like, thank you for stopping. And that really means a lot. It does. Because that was very nice of him to stop. And he's like, you sure, man? Like, I just want to get to work. I was like 10 minutes away from work too. It's like right before the tracks. So I'm like, my thought is like, oh, cool, like a train could come too, and I could be stuck there for an additional 30 minutes. And I look down, I got blood there and stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh man, what a day. So yeah, I get in, and I tell the woman who has been training me in my job, like, hey, somebody might have gotten hit by a car. Like, I'll be a couple minutes late. I gotta run to the bathroom. And she's like, what? And so, dude, word travels so fucking fast in that department. There's somebody who was on the total other side of the room who ended up hearing about that in like 5 minutes. It's like, hey, I heard you got hit by a car. Like, that's fine. Like, they're like, are you sure? And yeah, so they're like, yeah, you can go home if you want. I'm like, that means I got to bike 40 minutes back. Like, while I'm still in pain from the experience there. I was actually more sore the next day. When the pain sort of settled in. But anyway, so yes, it's like encounter number 5 with the pavement that I've had in the past couple of years. Hey man, at least it wasn't my face again. My beautiful, beautiful face.
That's so funny. I mean, not really, but it's
this was probably one of the lesser injuries, I want to say. And the fact that, you know, after getting clipped, I didn't break anything, and I did tear my pants though, my work pants, just a little bit. So I was a little pissed about that.
Yeah. Did you get those sewn up?
I gotta do that, man. I have like this.
Just don't go to that place that I showed you, like that one time, the organic cleaners at Pickwick Park. Remember?
Yes.
Clown pants they gave me back. Yeah.
That's right. Did more damage than good.
Of morons. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. Not to bury the lead, but that.
No, you're fine.
That was. I thought that you would have noticed that a little sooner. Actually.
No, I didn't notice it.
I'm actually.
I think like I saw the one on your elbow, and it just like.
I mean, I'm normally have bruises or cuts
register,
or whatever. Yeah,
right?
so it's not
like,
something
just,
out of the ordinary.
Because it's like normal, and then I saw that it was on your hand, and I haven't seen like a mark on your hand before. I was like, no, that's new.
Yeah, that's new.
And then it clicked. I was like, oh wait, no, there's one in his elbow too. Yeah.
So.
But I gotta tell you real quick. I got a podcast for you to start listening to.
Oh, really?
And for anyone else to start listening to. So my buddy told me, he's like, hey, dude, you gotta start listening to the Pat McAfee show. I was like, what? Yeah, Pat McAfee's like, yeah, I remember he was a punter, used to be a punter for the Indianapolis Colts. He's like just retired last year. He's like our age. He's like a year older than us or something like that. And he had this podcast through Barstool. And then he separated from that, and he has his own podcast called The Pat McAfee Show 2.0. It's PMS 2.0. So, dude, you gotta Google Pat McAfee Show. The first episode is fucking hilarious. It's called, like, Rebirth. It explains why he's not with Barstool, and then he talks a little bit about, like, why he left the NFL. Because he didn't leave because he was injured. He just left of his own will, like, I'm done with this. And, dude, oh my gosh, dude, this guy, I want to be his friend. I want to hang out with this guy. Dude, it's so funny. And they talk football.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I'm actually very intrigued.
They talk football every Tuesday and Thursday.
Pat McAfee Show.
The Pat McAfee Show
2.0.
2.0. And it just, I mean, he's been doing this podcast for a while, but he just started doing it on his own without Barstool, like, at the beginning of September. And
that I will definitely listen to that then. I'm always down to try.
Dude,
I might listen to that today.
Great. Yeah. Just dude, he's a storyteller.
Oh.
This guy is
Okay.
He's a storyteller, and it's a good one.
All right.
And he the guests that he has, like they phone, he'll do part of the show with his friends, and then they'll insert like the phone interview that he does with people.
Okay.
And I listened to one recently with like Joseph Adai, and he did one with Gary Vee, and so you usually get maybe like 2, maybe 3 different phone calls in one episode where they're shooting the
like
shit.
A 48-minute episode or
it's
whatever?
like an hour and a half.
Oh damn!
Of like it's like portion of it is like them shooting the shit, then like a phone interview that's like 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes maybe. Shoot the shit for a little bit, maybe like another phone interview, then they're shooting the shit, and then the episode's done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I definitely need a non-politics
and it's funny because
to listen to.
Because he does his ads. He does them in the actual episode, like for Dollar Shave Club or for like this underwear company.
So like
and
Chris Hardwick did.
But Chris Hardwick does it in the beginning.
Okay.
At the corkboard, Nerd's corkboard,
Yeah.
prior to the episode, and then the episode starts.
So
he does his in the episode, but dude, he's so smooth at the segue. All of a sudden, you're like, oh wait a minute, is he dropping an ad on me right now? Like, yeah, it's not. It's like pleasant to listen to. It's not like, oh great, I got to listen to this like advertisement.
15 second forward, 15 second
yeah,
forward. Yeah,
he's real
forward.
smooth.
Okay,
he's real smooth, and it's great, dude. And I want to meet him someday, and I want to like go out and get beers with him. And I want to just like hang out with him sometime. It's an awesome podcast. It's a great replacement for Nerdist, which sadly hasn't released any episodes since June 13th. I think it was the last episode.
Chris Hardwick's in hiding.
But anyway, oh man, it feels good to be back.
Good to be back, man.
So we'll do another few before you head out. This was very refreshing.
It was. I feel like my soul is a little less burdened now.
Yeah, this is good to get all this off my chest. Yeah, some storytelling, some... Oh, man, we'll save this for next. This whole time, I was thinking of this one thing that I wanted to get clarification on from your end.
Broader topic, so I can remember?
I can't say anything.
Don't forget it.
Because it's going to be... Just remind me. I'll remember what it is. Just say, hey, what's that thing? We'll lead with it on the next episode.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, this is falls under an area of your expertise. So...
Alrighty.
Darn it. Okay.
Until next time.
Until next time.